So I was raised in New York, right? And if you're raised in New York, especially in the Bronx, Washington Heights, you're a Yankee fan, right? Like
Hmm.
I think they gave me my first Yankee hat on the way out the hospital. And that means you hate the Red Sox. So I
Okay,
grew
yeah.
up hating hating the Red Sox. I think that's not I don't think that's I think that's underselling it. Hating the Red Sox is not enough. Like hating the Red Sox. Like if you I could have probably ended friendships. Like if I'd known you for a few years and then you tell me, "Oh, I'm a Red Sox fan." Rap. I had beef with J Lo over wearing a Red Sox jacket once because she was married to Ben Affleck. Like hated the Red Sox. And then when I was you know, going into clubs in the city, it was one night that I had what they call a moment of clarity. And it was when I walked in and I remember seeing Derek Jeter. I don't know who he was chilling with.
Hmm.
But it was like they had just had a game and it was one of the niggas on the Red Sox. And I thought to myself, they drinking together, and I'm like, I'm an asshole. Like I'm a complete
What
fool.
what made you an asshole?
The fact that I am like I've been to Boston a couple times, and every single time I've done something not right to Fenway Park. Something that you would be like, that like I'll tell you what I did, and you'd be like, that wasn't right. You shouldn't have done that. That. The fact that like people talk to me and I would cut people out over Red Sox stuff. And these dudes after a game are chilling. I'm hearing, I forgot who it was that said the whole thing about the subway is ghetto in New York, and that was a Red Sox dude, and I was like, yeah, fuck that guy. But meanwhile, they all chill together because they grew up like they're baseball dudes. A lot of them grew up together, and closer to like there were trades where like all of a sudden like somebody who was playing on the Red Sox for years would now be on the Yankees because there's trades, right?
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
weird to see Roger Clemens pitching for the Yankees. It's weird for the first little bit. But then there's a moment, and in the game, in the heat of the moment, they do something. You're like, yeah, throw that bat back at that mother. But they friends.
Yep.
And and that for me has been like I don't have a lot of regrets in my life, and I don't think this is a regret, but it's one of those learning moments where I'm like, I have to think about what the the things that I carry, especially when I'm carrying something for somebody else and they're not carrying for me. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Do y'all have anything like that?
My homeboy broke up with his girlfriend at the time, and he would talk about all this terrible shit that she was doing. Um, and so trying to be a good homeboy, I'm like, yeah, 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 fuck her, right? And then you know, hit him up, hey Brody, we about to go out. You trying to go, nah, I can't go, man. I got a little something I gotta handle. Oh, okay, bet. All right. My boy Brandon
Oh
said,
shit.
let's ride past his house. And guess
He
who
had some.
car is in the
He was laying some pipe.
yeah, yeah,
He
he was
was
getting his
fixing
goose
some
on.
plumbing.
Yeah, it was saying, oh,
That's
okay. All right. Okay.
crazy. He's like, I
So
got some
from
home
now on,
improvement I got to do real quick.
yeah, he had some R 10 to 2 on everything. So after that,
No.
I'm just like, hey, you know what? Okay.
You know, I'm all right. On that, I'm Dominican, right?
Yeah, yeah.
There y'all could ask somebody you know that's Dominican, and they will tell you I'm not bullshitting. There are in Dominican Republic, there are married couples who, for their friends, they will fake a fucking breakup just to see what everybody say about the other one. And
Right.
then they get back together and compare notes. I grew up knowing this, right? And so whenever there was like breakup shit, I'd be like, don't say. And it's different over here, but I
Mhm.
had that paranoia, right? So like my parents instilled that in me, and so like I know I'm saying that to tell you I know what you went through with that.
I mine is less personal. I mean, I guess it's personal for me, but mine is more of a I think a lot of people can relate to this because my learning moment about that came with one Dwayne the Rock Johnson and one uh Hunter Hunter Hemsworth, Triple H. And I was big into wrestling when I was younger, and Hunter Hearst Helmsley. And I I was a big Rock fan, The Rock fan. He was a baby face. I was a big The Rock fan. He had come from The Rock had started off as a baby face and then kind of went heel with the Nation and then went super heel with corporate. And he called his move the corporate elbow before it was the people's elbow, and then it turned into the people's elbow, and he went babyface. And I fell for the whole. Ooh, excuse me. I fell for the whole thing. I fell for the whole shtick, the whole scheme. And in the middle of that, I watched Triple H go from being a babyface in DX with Shawn Michaels and China to being a heel and going up against The Rock and all this other shit. And so I was big into the yeah fuck the jabronis, fuck them niggas who like Triple H. Your favorite wrestler Triple H. I don't fuck with you. I don't fuck with you. But mind you, I was young. I was like 9 years old, 10 years old. But still said the shit. Still did the shit.
You saying all that at 9?
Yep, sure was.
Okay,
Sure
I
all
be-
was.
right.
I be- I believe it.
100%, 100%. Like, fuck them niggas who like Triple H. Fuck y'all, this, that, and blah, 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 blah. And I was, big Dwayne The Rock Johnson fan. And then one fateful night, fateful, FATE, full night came where Dwayne was hosting one Saturday Night Live.
I knew you. I knew
And
it.
I I saw Triple H stand up against him in front of a crowd of people, and I was like, "Oh shit, they about to get it on Saturday Night Live." And they shook hands and told each other congratulations and wished each other the best of luck. And I was like, "What is happening? What is going on? No, these niggas hate each other. They can't stand the sight of each other. They can't. Where's the Rock? Shut up, bitch! Like, where is that? Where is it?" Wasn't none of that. It was just smooth
Ain't no
sailing episode.
pedigree.
Was no pedigree, was no rock bottom, was no people's elbow. It was no fighting at all. And he stood up too. Like when Triple H, if y'all see this episode of Saturday Night Live, Triple H stands up and goes, "I'm gonna kick your ass." And we're just like, "Oh shit, Triple H is here." And then he's like, they do the back and forth, like, "Oh, you're gonna kick my the Rock's like, you're gonna kick the Rock's ass? You're gonna kick the Rock's ass?" Then he walks up to him and Triple H goes, "I got one thing to say to you. Congratulations, sir, for hosting the show." They shake hands, and I'm like, "What? What? What do you mean, congratulations? Hit him with the motherfucker, bring out the sledgehammer.
With all these
Like,
chairs
what are
out
you
here,
all these folding chairs, and y'all shaking hands, talking about congratulations." And from that moment, I realized I was an asshole. I don't know if I knew what it meant to be an asshole the same way you knew, Jeff, but at that moment, I realized the beef that I had held so strong to wasn't beef to these niggas. These niggas was doing show business.
that I I feel you because I saw that same episode, but by that time I was like on some behind the scenes stuff. So I already knew these guys was friends. So it didn't hit me the same way, but I know what you're talking about.
It just, yeah.
And like all of that stuff that we're talking about right now is things that hit us in life and shapes our opinion of stuff, and it gives us a like a shock. Maybe we learn a lesson, but it's not reverberating. And I think for some people, they have this exact same experience, but they let that reverberate. And so that's what I want to talk about today. So this is the End of a Species podcast. I'm here with Shaun. I'm here with
Hey,
Solid. And y'all know I'm Jeff. And you know, I just wanna, just y'all know it. Do you regret your vote yet, people? Do you regret your vote? And I don't mean this question for just like people who voted for, who, right? I mean across the board. Like, I want to talk about. Uh, I know, Shaun, you love talking about how electoral politics ain't it, right?
yeah.
But I want to talk about how, like, holding people accountable ain't it. Like, nobody's doing that.
Mhm,
And even the people that are like we make it this team sport in politics, and the teams are not teaming. Like, they're not doing the thing,
mhm,
right? It seems to be this I don't want to use, I think the word performative is almost overused. It seems to be this, like, this theatrical thing, right? And so you have this thing where Republicans do something and everybody's like, "Oh my God, you guys did this terrible thing." And the Democrats are like, "Yeah, you did this terrible thing. You're horrible. We're going to get you." And that's it. End scene. And you move on to the next day and it's like, we're just going to repeat it. Like, "Hey, they did
yeah,
this terrible thing." And then you have the soundbite where you have one of the, whether it's Jasmine or Katie or AOC. "Did you do this horrible thing? Well, you, sir, are terrible." I
mhm.
almost, if you like the Romeo and Juliet. "Do you bite your thumb at me?" "Yes, I do. Yes, I do." And then you just walk off.
You just walk off. Nothing happens.
No, that's it. We're just gonna, okay. And then you go on the news like, can you believe? Like, I one of the ones that hits me is when they kicked Elizabeth Warren out the Senate for the day because she says something, and then she immediately went to the news. "Can you believe they kicked me out?"
Yes,
Yeah, yeah. Matter of fact,
absolutely.
hey, you
On
you
the alt right playbook, there's a statement that's made that where we talk about the there's a liberal fantasy
Mhm,
of verbally owning somebody, like
mhm.
destroying somebody, that telling somebody what for, right? Letting them be, right? And I believe they show, what is that? The West Wing they show?
I never watched the show, so I don't know what show they
Okay.
actually
Well,
show, but
there's
I do know.
Martin Sheen is like talking about, well, you think it's wrong to be gay in the Bible. Well, do you wear mixed fabrics? And then
Right.
Oh, yeah, I know
everybody's like,
that scene.
oh, right.
Yeah.
and, and so I think we kind of live for that moment, the slam dunk,
Mhm,
the bad bleach blonde body. You know what I'm saying? I think we live for that in a lot of ways because it it kind of gives off the verisimilitude of your team winning, right? But I
mhm.
think the problem is the winning doesn't come from that. The winning comes from policy, like the power of the pen, right? Or a revolution. But in
Or
this instant, right, the, the in this instance, Jeff, it sounds to me like you're saying that there's no policy being made, there's no pushback, there's no um, obstruction of the evil that is conservatives.
I think back to, like, let's look at the last three, and I will say, I don't want to say like presidents, but I'll say administration. Like if you go back to George Sr., right? And one term, uh, Desert Storm, announced in the middle of the day. Like I remember I was in school and they wheeled out a TV into my classroom for the president to say we go into, and I'm in a grade where I don't know how to spell Iraq. Don't know anything about it. But they're gonna tell us, hey, we're gonna go over there. And then the son, fool me once, blah, 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 blah. Oh, he's stupid. And weapons of mass destruction. And that's when you first started hearing people throw around terms like war criminal. And I remember hearing that term and thinking, oh, is this Nixon again? Like war criminal, that's serious. And then when he goes out of office, and people like to say that they like to say Obama, but like everybody was like, hey, let's chill. War criminal talk is over. And then we got now, and it's just scaling up. Like, hey, when it's this level, right? Oh, why you go over the for oil? When it's this level, now I'm lying to you to go get the oil. And now it's this level, and you still like,
wagging the finger.
I'm mad at you. You did some stuff that I don't like.
Yep.
And it gets to the point where the characters involved in the play start leaving John Steinbeck and moving towards Neil Simon, where it's like you were moving across, the grapes of wrath, like hey, we're hardworking, but there's a slight tinge of I don't like people, and I don't like it, but it's whispered underneath.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's the cartoony, like, hey guys, guess what? You guys are terrible. And still everybody's just like, I think something's wrong with this. Not sure what. As soon as I put my finger on it, there's something like, look, I'm going to start off by like RFK. Like RFK walks in a room and starts talking the type of stuff that your aunt or uncle sends you on Facebook, where when you see the thing pops up, you're like, yeah, nah, I don't think I'm gonna. And you either don't open it at all, or
Right.
you like open it so that the notification goes away, and then you immediately close it. Like, I'm not clicking on that link.
Right.
That's RFK. RFK is the person who, like, when you click on that link, you get a PowerPoint presentation of how, and I'm saying this from personal experience because I have family members who have sent me this, how Hillary Clinton is secretly demonic, and they put the horns, like MS Paint horns on
Yes.
Hillary Clinton.
Yes.
And you sitting there like, the fuck? How did you used to come to Thanksgiving and be so normal? What is this? And that dude goes to the Senate talking about, I'm the health guy. Should we do vaccine? That's the answer. You shouldn't listen to me on that. And everybody goes, that's crazy that he would. In the calmest, you should be breaking the glass, right?
Yeah.
Break glass in case of emergency. That's it right there.
Right.
You should be breaking the glass. But no, I don't think that was a good answer, RFK.
What are we going to do about this?
Yeah.
I wish somebody were assigned to do something about this. If we had some sort of check or balance in the way of something like this.
Hey.
What's crazy is that, like, it was just like the way in which RFK said the shit was just like a nigga who was accused of some shit. Like it's like how like I get accused of shit like at my parents' house or whatever. Like I'll go to my parents' house, my sister will be like, "Oh, you did XYZ," and I'm like, "Why are you bringing up old shit?" Like that's how he said the shit. They was like, "Should you vaccinate your kids? Why you bringing up old shit?" Like
You know
that's
what?
exactly
Not the question to me. Now that I'm thinking about it right now. That question is a stupid question.
it's a dumb question, but yeah, absolutely.
And it's a stupid question for a couple reasons. The first one is, if it's the health guy, you shouldn't be asking him day one questions. You should be saying, what's the rollout plan like?
Hmm.
Right? What is this going to affect the budget like? How are you allocating? Like, you should be using terms like allocating, right? Like
Yes.
words that like, hey, that's a smart word. Should you vaccinate your kids is not the question that you ask the health guy. And then the second reason it's a dumb question is because you already know the answer. You're asking it because you know the answer. You're asking it like that question is the gotcha. And
I'll do you one better, right? And that's the thing, right? I'll do you one better. We shouldn't be in a position where we have to ask that question in the first place. Shouldn't be in a position where a question that you need to know is, does this nigga want to do vaccinations? Like that's
Right.
that's
mhm,
Right.
that's
Right.
unhinged, right?
Right.
Late stage capitalism.
yep. And
Well, go ahead, Joe.
you did not in any way think to yourself, like you said it on the news, we should get rid of this dude. But you didn't think in any way to yourself, like, hey, let's put this on paper. We need to get rid of this dude. And then everybody in the United States is like, yo, the dude, there's a measles outbreak, and you just fired the CDC person. Cool. Do you think we should get rid of the dude that fired the CDC person in the middle of a measles outbreak? And people, the regular people, are going to be like, yeah, I don't want the measles to kill my kid. The aunts and uncles that send you the shit on Facebook, that's who's yelling and that's who's loud. That's who's like, no, he's on to something. But none of the regular people that get the emails are like, no, I don't like that. So therefore, the dude behind the podium that got the D next to his name, he's like, should we? That's where that question's from, by the way.
100%.
Should we be allowed? Would you vaccinate your kids? That's where that question comes from.
The one of the reasons as to why I talk so much shit about electoral politics is because I know that liberals are not good at gauging danger in any way, shape, or form. And the threshold for political action is death. It's not a joke. That's a real thing. The threshold for political action is death. The threshold for political action is not fascism. As much as liberals sit there and go, "Oh, the threshold for me is when we go into fascism, or when we start to move too far into taking away women's rights, or when we lean into doing X or Y or Z or whatever else." No, it's not. It's not. That's not even close. Because if it were, then y'all have had a revolution in 1943. Like, and there wouldn't have been no
Yeah.
question. Soon as they put Japanese people, Asian people in internment camps, y'all have overthrew the government.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all didn't give a fuck about fascism. Y'all never cared about fascism, and you can't gauge danger because it's not happening to you. And you don't consider the people who it's happening to human. You don't give a fuck about black people. You don't give a fuck about women. The Equal Rights Act still hasn't passed. You don't give a fuck about women. You don't give a fuck about marginalized people, which is why I talk so much shit about electoral politics, because the threshold for political action is death. When niggas realize that they're the ones being killed, that's when they like, all right, let's go get them. That's what happens. And liberals are not good at gauging when that is going to happen to them. It's too late at that point.
Speaking of like 43 and internment camps and all of that, right after that, you had a member of Congress pulling random people and just going, are you a communist? That was the question.
Yes.
Random careers over. and some people say it's just Hollywood, but no, across
The
the
entire
board,
spectrum.
careers over. And it wasn't until somebody, the have you no shame, right? That's happening today. The
Hmm.
have you no shame. And it still happens. And when we're like, oh, so you're saying, you say death. I don't even think death is the limit because when you're not, like when you're not protected and you're a kid, measles can be death.
No, yeah, no, absolutely.
So even
But
then, it's like, well,
but that's the thing.
what? Mhm.
Most people don't believe that they're going to catch measles. That's an issue. Most liberals are just like, no, I'm not going to catch measles. That's an ancient disease. Like they say that shit. They do that shit all the time. Like
Mhm.
it's the reason as to why we don't have any action for any real police abolition or even reform is because liberals are like, yeah, that shit ain't gonna happen to me. If you just comply, you'll be all right.
Or I'm already vaccinated. I'm gonna
Mm,
vaccinate my kids.
mm,
Fuck your kids.
mm.
It's the same thing with the abortion stuff. Like, hey, I'm really mad that all these women are dying in the red state. Well, that's on them, right? Like, oh, so suddenly it doesn't like it's that's what it is,
Right.
right? So no, go ahead.
No, I just said right.
Yeah, so like I'm just floored at the fact that it's not just the inaction, it's the inaction in the face of incompetence. Like in any other job,
Weaponized.
if I was to walk into like Burger King and I say, "Yo, I'd like a Whopper, please," and the dude just grabbed the little bin with the onions and threw it up in the air and then said, "Okay, bye." That dude's fired.
Yeah. Yeah.
That dude's gone. Like, hey,
Yeah.
he ordered a Whopper. Why'd you throw onions in the air? I felt like it. Look, do you think you should put a beef patty on the Whopper? Don't take advice from me on that. You're gone. You're fired. Like,
You're
hey, why
fired.
don't you go? Oh, better yet, yo, go home and think about it, and we'll call you if we need you. Like, you remember that scene in Kill Bill Volume 2 where the dude was scratching him off the okay,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
don't work
Yeah. Yeah.
Thursday. Oh, look, Friday, you're going Friday
You're
too.
on
That's
Friday
what should
too.
happen. Like, they should bring RFK in and be like, oh, do you work tomorrow? Yeah, I do. It doesn't look like it. It looks like, it's like you're not
Looks
working
like you're not
Thursday.
working.
How about Friday? You think you're coming in Friday? Nah, motherfucker. You just said don't take advice from me on vaccines, and that's your one job. So you're not working Friday. You're not working until you can get past that part. Can you get past that part? If you can't, I don't want to see you in here. And that leads to the second thing, the second example that I have, which is this cry from everybody. Not just this isn't just like a right thing. This is everybody about censorship. So people go, hey, now there are examples where platforms, and we were talking about this offline, but there are examples where platforms will have a rule where they say, hey, we don't want content of this nature.
Mm-hmm.
And like, let's say like content of a sexual nature.
Mm-hmm.
And one person, you'll go to one person doing their content and they are being super graphic. And that doesn't get whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And the second person is saying, hey, I think gay people should have rights. Gone. That I get. Right. I'm not going to
Mm-hmm.
protest that. I'm just going to leave. I'm just going to be like, all right, there's other platforms. I'm going to go to
Mm-hmm.
another platform. No problem.
Mm-hmm.
You can protest if you want to, and people probably should, but the censorship part is, hey, how come I don't get to say racist stuff? When I say racist stuff, people get mad at me. And so I think the Senate Judiciary Committee should have a 2-hour meeting talking about how I don't get to say the N word with the hard R whenever I feel like it.
Mm-hmm.
They're censoring me. Hey, I don't know how to spell epidemiology, but I think I don't know what VAERS stands for. Like, if I was to give you what VAERS stands for, if that was Final Jeopardy, I lost all my money. Even if I
Right.
bet nothing. They'll be like, yo, you so dumb, we taking your money. But I think I should be able to put this Facebook post up about how the people who have been studying this forever are lying to you. How do you know? Because they are. And you're a sheep if you don't agree with me. They took that down. I don't like that. That's censorship. And so instead of talking about the guy who couldn't answer the first question, we got to sit around and watch a 2-hour meeting about people saying, hey, stupids want to say shit.
Yeah.
The dumb people want to talk and they don't want to be challenged. So can we stop this censorship? We're going to call witnesses. You subpoena somebody for this? I thought you were just going to say that. No, you got this person who has some shit to do today. They had to Uber to to the Capitol and go through a metal. Like, think about being a witness, right? Be called into Congress as a witness, and you originally had planned to, like, let's say you were a journalist, right?
Hmm.
One of the people that got called in is the editor in chief for the Federalist, Molly Hemingway, right? So she's the editor in chief. Like, so when she gets called in, she had originally planned to like talk to some writers, hand out assignments, read through some potential stories and say, this is good, this is that. Maybe offload some of the work to some of her assistants to edit some stuff and cool. No, I got to leave work. So now my inbox is piling up because I am the editor in chief. So I got shit to do. I got to leave work. I got to get in an Uber because it's DC. Y'all know better than me. You're not driving. So I got to, and if I don't live there, I got to fly in. So
Yeah.
now I got to catch a flight, catch a Uber, maybe if I don't live there, get a hotel to go to the place. Now, when I get there, somebody like that has probably been there a few times, so she knows her way around. She doesn't have to ask what door to go in through. But when you go in through that door, there's metal detectors and wands and shit. And you got to go through that. And then you got to get on the elevator. And maybe the elevator's packed because there's a hearing today. So everybody is moving everywhere. And so
Hmm.
you go to the thing and you're sitting there and then you're sitting there and you're waiting. And then somebody asks you a question about whether Joe Rogan can, can, can do the thing he's supposed to do. And if it was me, I would be thinking about all the trips I did to get here. And I would be thinking some stuff that would get me censored. Like, I would be
Yeah.
thinking of like C-SPAN cameras are on my face right now, aren't they? Yeah. If I say what I'm thinking, I gotta filter that shit out because I'm gonna be canceled. Like, yeah.
I think that the when it comes to this is actually really good because like that's a part of creating wedge issues for Democrats. I made a video on TikTok and reposted on Instagram about Democrats and Republicans creating wedge issues. We all know how Republicans create wedge issues. They just lie about the issues of capitalism. Like they're like, "Oh, you lost your job? That's not capitalism's fault. That's the immigrants' fault. That's black people's fault. That's women's fault." Or like, "Oh, you lost your house? That's not capitalism's fault. That's the immigrants' fault. That's black people's fault. That's women's fault." That's, that type of shit. Whereas Democrats ignore the issue entirely. Like when it comes to any issues that are actually affecting people, they ignore the issue entirely and they just talk about some other shit. Like they talk about censorship and whether or not we should allow Joe Rogan to say the hard R every so often, or they talk about if we should vaccinate our kids. And can you believe this person doesn't want to vaccinate their kids? And can you believe that these people? Can you believe that these people are talking about Obama's tan suit? And can you believe like none of them are talking about the actual issues. I mean, police are killing niggas while they're sitting there talking about can Joe Rogan say the hard R? It's a nigga at that moment in some district, most likely like Los Angeles and New York, getting their ass beat by some cops.
Mhm.
absolutely mollywopped, just fucked all the way up by multiple cops.
Yeah.
And
Oops,
these
my
niggas
body cam got turned off.
exactly this. And niggas in Congress are just saying like, oh, do. But what about Joe? Yeah, that nigga got his ass beat. But what about Joe Rogan though? What about this? What about this RFK nigga? What about this? What about these people saying these? Can you believe Trump said that yesterday? Like, can you believe that? That's what they're worried about because they're ignoring the big issues that are affecting people and bringing up these other issues that inflame people because liberals don't want Republicans saying the hard R. You're gonna ruin the racism for the rest of us.
Now, I do want to clear something up before you write emails because I don't check emails or complain. I know that all the journalists that went to the Capitol were complaining about themselves getting censored. So I know that the Federalist was like, I'm getting censored. That's not the point. The point is we shouldn't be talking like they're talking about, for example, how some media gets awards for covering the Russia scandal, and but they cover the Russia collusion hoax or some shit like that, right? And meanwhile, all the stuff that you're saying talking about is happening, Shaun. All the stuff that you're saying,
Yeah.
that's what the fuck is happening. And
Well,
these people
it's
are in Congress talking about this nonsense.
yeah, but I do think that there's some because like there's journalists who have gone in front of Congress. Let's not pretend like Hassan Minaj wasn't in front of Congress talking about whether or not media should be censored in a specific way, and he was only talking about himself. He wasn't. He wasn't at all. Let's not pretend as if Seth Rogen wasn't in front of Congress talking about Nazis on Twitter. Like let's not like you can write your emails if you want to, but you're wrong. Like let's not sit here and pretend as if like there haven't been journalists that have went up there to talk about whether or not Joe Rogan should be demonetized. Like if we're gonna talk about this shit, let's really talk about this shit, or else what the fuck are you actually doing? And like and this is one of the issues that I tend to have with electoral politics is that everybody wants to be well actually it was they were talking about X Y and Z and this that and the other blah 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 yada yada. Was Candace Owens not going up there talking about how she shouldn't be censored? Was Seth Rogen not talking about Nazis on Twitter? Was Hassan Minaj up there not talking about how like the media, like left wing media, was being censored in general with certain articles and TV shows that they put out with demonetization and all of these other things? Like, fuck out of here with that email. Are you serious? You think these are the only reporters that have and writers that have gone up and talked to Congress? Get the fuck out of my face.
I think it goes deeper. I mean, you brought up Candace Owens. I think it goes a little bit even deeper is because they're allowing some voices.
I think we just came up with a new catchphrase for the show.
What's that?
No pause.
No pause. Oh,
No
okay.
pause.
Yeah, it goes way, 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 way deeper. You
Hey,
know?
no pause.
Much deeper
No
than
pause at all.
2.5 inches.
Hey,
Uh
no
you brought up
pause.
Candace Owens.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't just there to complain about being censored. She was there to literally spread PragerU misinformation.
Thank you.
Facts.
She was there specifically to deceive, right?
Yes.
Under the guise of, right? So you're saying essentially why aren't you letting me lie to you? Why aren't you letting me bring racism back? Sorry.
We had a
But that's the real complaint out there is don't trust what you hear.
yes.
And if anybody tries to keep me from telling you not to trust what you hear, listen to me. And if anybody tries to keep you from listening to me, it's because I'm telling the truth and they're trying to keep me from, right? But it's really at the end of the day, let me lie to you. Stop stopping me from lying to you.
And this is, yes, this is an issue I have with liberalism, period, because liberalism allows for those things to be said and allows for those things to be entertained whilst they ignore the big issues. And it's because they believe in this thing called the marketplace of ideas. They believe that when they believe that a big theory, an economic theory for capitalism is that within capitalism, competition is created and the best product will win. So, like, whoever has the best product, everyone will buy that product, and it will basically beat out the competition, and that shows you who has the best product. Liberals believe it's not a real thing. It's something that's made up because it never
That
works out that way in real life. But liberals
never happens.
no, actually,
Ever
ever,
happens.
ever. But we'll do a whole episode on that too. And the but the point for them is
Wait,
that they believe
if
that
y'all doing
same.
the controller thing, just be prepared.
No, I got you. I
Because
everybody
we
show
go
their
we could
controller.
go all day. We could go if I stand up from this chair and I go
I'm
2
good.
feet that way.
Hey, hands up, don't shoot. I'm good.
All right, now let's do who got
I'm
the
good.
most guns.
Who got the most
Hey,
guns?
look,
Okay.
Oh, nah,
yeah,
nigga.
chill before I say something colorist. Go.
Hey, hold on. I no, but for real, the reason that never works. The marketplace picking who has the best product and what the best product is. That's never a thing that works within capitalism. It flops immensely. But liberals believe that exact same thing for arguments. Like, they implement that into their governance. They
Mhm.
believe that if you have a bad argument, then it will fail because more people will go and buy, like, and I guess just listen to the quote unquote good argument, which is why they do this whole thing of, can you believe he said that? Can you believe they think this? Can you believe he doesn't want to vaccinate?
Yes.
Yes. Other people believe that too, because it's a fucking belief. Like, when it comes to beliefs, Jeff talks about this all the time. I'm gonna wrap it up after this. Jeff talks about this all the time when it comes to uh, religion. And we're talking about religion a lot of the time. Religion does not rely on what is true and what is not true. It just relies on fervor. It just relies on your ability to believe it and how strong you want to believe that.
Mhm.
Jeff says this thing where you've made up a god. Like, we'll read the words in the Bible and we'll hear, like, people will see the Bible and the person will read it themselves and it will be like, yeah, and God destroyed them for absolutely no reason whatsoever. And he said, I am the Lord, nigga. I can do whatever the fuck I want. I will kill your daughter just because she's light skinned. And these niggas be like, he ain't say that. And Jeff be like, nigga, you just read it. So you've
Mhm.
made this God up, and now you're shaping the viewpoint of God to this God that you've made up. They're a superhero. They're a comic book superhero that you've made up in your head, and now you're shaping the world to fit whatever it is that you want this comic book superhero to be good or bad at. Same thing with governance and liberals. You have now formed this opinion, and you think it's the best opinion, which, even if it is, like, you cannot expect someone else to just come and see no action but go with your thought process because you think it's the best idea in the marketplace.
Speaking
It
of which,
just
I heard a nigga do that exact thing today with Flow Rider. It was
Oh
incredible.
my
It
God.
was I
I feel
said,
like I think I saw that too, and I think that person gave a really well formed argument and gave actual data points on
Y'all
how
are,
Flow Rider.
y'all are both equally pretty. I was gonna say, I was actually gonna ask both of you, like, to your to your point. hold on. To your point, what happened? Like, because this is you right about it's not just shaping the world as a superhero thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's also shaping your politicians. What happened when they asked, "Yo, AOC, should you go to put the Green New Deal to a vote?"
Mm-hmm. She did nothing. She
Not
said, what
not
she
yet.
actually said, she said, sometimes you have to play ball. Those were her
Mhm.
words verbatim. She said, we're
And
not going to do that because sometimes you have to play ball.
no shade, but also shade, right?
No, big
Because
shade.
yeah, because you the one that jumped in and you everybody wagging their fingers, but then here you got the time to tell people like, hey, are you tired of asthma? Are you tired of having to buy albuterol by the gallon? Well, here's the thing that'll make that happen. You sick of like having to like spray down your shit because it got black soot on it? You done with that, right? Are you sick of not being able to see the stars at night? Do you remember when everybody stayed home and you could see the stars for like 2 weeks until everybody started driving again and you look and you're like, ain't no stars no more? Are you tired of that? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Your doctor telling you that you got COPD or some shit. Are you done with watching them commercials that say, hey, do you have symptom X? We got the medicine for you. You done with that? Okay, well, this person has a thing where we could do the thing, but they said, nah, I'm good.
And I think it's not for nothing. I think that it's mad important to understand that at this point, I believe that what you're talking about, Jeff, if it's the quote that she made that I had said, it was
Mhm.
at a point in time where they needed her vote.
Mm.
She had all of the leverage. She could have done anything she
Yep.
wanted to do. They came to her and said, we need your vote. We
Yep.
need you. We cannot do this without you. She had
Mhm.
all of the leverage and she played none of it.
Yep.
Let's say that, you know, this is the circumstance. Is that not suggestive that the game itself is a piece of shit? It's a shitty
100%.
game.
100%.
It's Castlevania 3, you
Mm,
know? Because if the nature of the game is that you have to forego actual policy that's actually going to be helping your constituents, actually going to be benefiting the American public, right? But nah, because sometimes, you know, I got to log roll my way over to fucking tax breaks for Amazon, you
mhm.
know. Uh then you know what I'm saying? Then that means the game is broken. If you got to play ball, that means the ball game is broken. It's fucked up.
Mhm.
It's a stupid game. Um we were talking about AI earlier and how the processing power produces a lot of waste,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And I fucking I love ChatGPT. I do. I can't
I
hold you.
love AI. I
I love
love the
AI.
way it takes away so much uh it takes away so much mental labor
It does.
from me.
It
Mhm.
does. I'm
Yeah.
talking about organizing scripts, everything. I got a debunking model minority myth script that's locked and loaded. And if I wanted to do an episode right now, I could, but I'm lazy. Um the but if it means that there's gonna be Homer Simpson fish, that just a little three-eyed fish, just fucking like, what's up?
Mhm.
Like, bro, you get what I'm saying?
Homer Simpson fish is crazy.
Homer Simpson fish, if it's gonna turn people into who's from Whoville, then maybe I just don't need this shit. You know what I'm saying? If we can't find right, if we
I
can't find a way, you know what I mean? And again, the metaphor, the analogy that I brought up, that I created somehow, I guess. I don't think I created it. I think I repurposed it from something else.
Mhm.
But the hot dog machine,
Yeah.
right? You made a machine, and the purpose of the machine is to crank out uh glizzies, and then we get angry because it's not making any chairs. It's like that's a dumb thing to do. trusting
is.
in the glizzy machine to make a chair, it
I
doesn't
don't
make any sense. So why are we trusting in the oppression machine to produce liberation?
I think that's a great question, and I think it goes into, and I don't want to go into a whole thing here, but I do want to say that I think that for me, I love AI, and I think that the fight against AI is the same fight against plastic straws. It is a fight that does not concern us as individuals in any way, shape, or form, because we did not create the system that allows for the massive pollutions of the oceans. And if we're actually revolutionary and doing whatever, we need to figure out a way, because these systems are our industrial revolution. I've said before that when communism came first, it was Soviet Union, China, Yugoslavia, and the big thing for them was the industrial revolution. For us, it's an automated revolution. That's how we're going to figure out how to do socialism and communism, because these things take away a lot of intellectual. If Lenin had Chat GBT, he wouldn't have died from a stroke. It just wouldn't have happened.
That's true.
He'd have been able to figure out how to feed everybody in Russia in 45 minutes.
hmm
And it wouldn't even been a question. Go ahead, Chad.
Yeah, I think the name of the game here is not maintaining the status quo. It's maintaining the kleptocracy. It's maintaining the ability for people to have their shit stolen and then be happy about it, clap about it.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
and so
I mean, I think that
somebody
is the status quo, but
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's basically like, I'm going into your pocket, solid. I'm stealing your wallet. And Shaun, and I'm only doing this because I love this analogy now. And Shaun is the cop that's supposed to stop me. And she's like, I'm gonna go catch him tomorrow. I'm gonna wave my baton in the air and be like, yo, stop. Don't do that. As I'm, yeah, please don't do that. And I leave. And the whole point is that you're gonna get your wallet stolen no matter what. And tomorrow, if you have a new wallet, I'm gonna come and get it again. And the person that's supposed to stop me is just gonna be like, look, it's fucked up that they took your wallet, right? Let me take your statement real quick. While they're standing there watching me take your wallet.
Exactly.
I want to go over a quick top 5.
Go ahead. Go
And
ahead.
it's the top 5 euphemisms. We call them the euphemisms for political surrender, right?
Hmm.
And these are things that you hear people say, mostly the ones with the D next to their name, right?
Yeah.
And we're going 5 down to 1. And the first one is, we've issued a strongly worded letter. And so, like, like, you'll see that. You can go to the website and you'll see the letter with the disappointment.
Hmm.
Number 4. Number 4, you've heard like ramp up since 2016. We have to protect the integrity of the institution.
Ooh.
We must protect the integrity of the institution. Can you believe that he said that? And the integrity is gone. Number 3,
when they go low,
yeah,
We
go
go
high.
high.
mm-hmm. That's the
Mm.
one. That's the one.
Mm.
We're exploring all our options.
Oh, God damn.
That's when you ask, yo, are you gonna get rid? Like the dude that just said the thing about the vaccines, are you gonna get rid of them? We're exploring all our options. Like,
Well, how long you gonna be exploring? I tell you what, the Wiz's gonna ask me to do something either today or tomorrow. I'm gonna hit it with, I'm exploring all my options. Hey, I'm just exploring all the
no,
options.
don't do that. Don't do that.
And I'll
No,
let
'cause
y'all know.
that
I'll let
hits
y'all know
different
how
in a
it
marriage,
goes.
man. I'm
You go.
saving your life, man. That hits different when you're
I'll
married.
let
That's
y'all
a
know how it
different
works.
thing.
Well, it's just but
You want me
but
to
that's the
clean
whole
out the
thing.
gutters?
It won't fly in a marriage because these are abuse tactics of weaponized incompetence.
Yeah. No, but it won't fly in a marriage because she's gonna be thinking you looking for other
But I
like
need you to think about. No, I'm talking about like, oh, why haven't you cleaned out the gutters? I've just been exploring all of my options, right? Right? It
oh, okay.
still doesn't work,
Nah.
right? But
I mean, it's
also,
still like
what
it's
Sis said, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to think about what that's like in the most intimate and vulnerable relationship one can have, right? Other than parent and child, right? We're
Yeah.
talking about the allocation of resources, the difference between life and death for millions of people.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow it is tolerable to
Yeah.
be told, we're thinking about it. We'll get around to it.
we'll get around to
We
yeah,
gotta think about it a little bit. We gotta think about it.
Which brings us to number 2. The American people deserve answers. We're gonna release this redacted report because you deserve the truth.
But I
And then
can't
you
read
got
the truth.
yeah,
I can't read the truth.
I
This truth is hidden behind this black line. Go ahead.
no, that's honestly true. That's honestly a thing. The And on top of that, even if it wasn't like if it was a report that was like a secret report that they were releasing to the public, it's always about something arbitrary. It's never about what is
Mhm.
actually happening. They have never in the middle of Black Lives Matter, in the middle of taking away abortion rights, in the middle of taking away trans rights, in the middle of taking away rights to protest for Palestine, in the middle of doing any like name a right that was taken away in the last 10 years. Um, they've
You know
released
what?
reports, huh?
You know what? You've been asking for it. I know that people are losing their lives and dying in droves. Okay. But you've been asking for it. So here's Hunter Biden's laptop.
That's it. Here's
True.
Hunter Biden's laptop, and Hunter Biden's laptop doesn't have proof of anything that he did or that the Democrats did. It actually has proof of Bigfoot
Right. Because you
Even if it
deserve to know
because you deserve to know the truth.
the truth.
even if it did, even if it did, how is that gonna put a ribeye in my mouth?
Right.
Which brings us to number 1 in the face of the recent shooting. Number 1, now is not the time for partisanship.
There we go.
That's the
There we
one.
go. There we
Yeah.
go.
Let's
That's
reach
what I'm
across
talking
the aisle.
Let's reach across. Listen, when niggas was talking about I'm a vote, I'm a the first time and the second time, I'm a vote for Biden. I'm riding with Biden. Niggas was saying all that shit. Biden was on television saying, I like Republicans. I don't know how you get anything done without them.
Oh, yep.
Those were his words verbatim. If you think I'm bullshitting, look it up. Look up Joe Biden. I like Republicans. I don't know how you get anything done without them.
But
This is in the midst of, and I gotta warn, this is in the midst of a Republican Supreme Court taking away abortion rights from women,
all
taking
right.
away the protections for reproductive health care for people who were assigned female at birth.
Um when he dropped out, you think you think do you think Kamala had Anthony Scaramucci and
Mm.
Liz fucking Cheney talking about I'm with like, yo, this my people, right? That's the same
Not
womb
the
that
mooch.
yeah, that's the same womb that thoughts and prayers comes from.
Dead ass.
Let's sit
We're talking.
around. No, go ahead.
We're talking, and I want to remind you, Liz Cheney has a gay sister and went on television in her sister's town and said, "I do not support gay marriage." This is who was backing up Kamala Harris.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So now is not the time for partisanship. That's why that's number one with a bullet. Because at any time when you put all your ducks in a row, they took away your subpoena powers, you get them back. You got the Supreme Court, you got all the stuff, and then you're like, yeah, this is the time. All the red dots is on capitalism, and you got everybody aiming, and then somebody come in and be like, stop. Can't we all just chill? Let's get a. We can't pull all these triggers at once. Now is not the time for partisanship. I want to leave y'all with this because you did mention the glizzy machine, and I am nothing if not a a a more than capable salesperson. And since we have like no pause, like ex nihilo devouring a glizzy, right? While saying no
Beautiful.
pause is peak end of a species. That's what I'm
That
saying.
is true.
That's peak end of a species. So if you go to the End of a Species website, endofaspecies.com, and go to the Adventures of Ex Nihilo, you can have the no pause sweater, and that can be yours. But it is because the glizzy machine is always gonna hit us with some glizzies. Y'all got any last words before we
I want to
wrap
talk
this
about
up?
the power of no pause. The
Mm.
power of no pause. No pause is pause is designed to like absolve you of illicit homosexual thought, right?
Yeah,
That's
that
what
gay shit.
pause. Yeah. What is you on, right?
Yeah.
No pause means courage. That means look, hey, if you think I might be onto some gay shit, not only do I not care, I will because it's not bad to be on some gay shit.
We didn't just double down. Look, no pause is just level 1.
Yeah.
Y'all don't know about
That's true.
y'all don't know about level 2.
Level 2
Hey,
gets
wait.
way
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
Y'all don't
It
know
does
about
get
level
way
2 and
worse.
3.
There's a level 3.
Nah, there's a level 3. Jeff said the level 3 the other night, and I was like, hold up, wait, time
Wait
out.
a minute.
I was like, wait.
Look, we'll hold back level 2 for y'all,
Yeah,
but just know that it involves one Micus Milius, and that's it, right? That's it. That's your clue. It involves that, and that's
It
level 2.
does.
Level
Dreams
3,
and nightmares.
level 3, level
Hey,
4. Like we look and look. If you put us in a room, we could hit you with a level 10. We
we
could fill out
could.
the whole page.
That is true.
But I agree with you, Solid. No pause is a powerful phrase.
I think that I agree. No pause is a powerful phrase. If I leave y'all with anything, I think that it's liberals, whoever calls themselves liberals, are just as responsible for RFK and the machines that are killing, raping, and maiming the American people, Black people, and marginalized people all across the world, as just as much as conservatives.
Yeah, I agree. And it's because when it's time to put foot to ass, they take off their boots.
Weaponized incompetence.
Facts. Well, we'll see you guys next time. This has been the End of a Species podcast. Peace.